Welcome, it's Claire here today, and today we're going to be talking about toxic positivity and emotional abuse, most particularly emotional abuse relating to narcissism. I myself have been a prior victim of narcissism throughout my childhood and many adult relationships until I finally decided that I needed to get to the bottom of what exactly was going on and why I was attracting these relationships. So toxic positivity is something that we have talked about in a previous video. Now, with all of my videos, I will say that just because you may have one of these traits, or you may, identify with, oh wow, I think I might be doing this, or I think I might have this negative trait, that does not mean you are a narcissist or a bad person. We all develop things from our childhood, from our parents, from life, and we just want to become aware of them. Now, with toxic positivity, this is something that, no, you do not have to be a narcissist to practice toxic positivity. I am not calling anyone out on being a narcissist if you do practice toxic positivity. But what I will say is that some narcissists can and do use toxic positivity for their own benefit. So first of all, if you'd like to watch my video on what is toxic positivity, I will have that linked below for you. Let's go ahead and dive right into what is toxic positivity when it relates to deliberate emotional abuse by a narcissist. So this is different than someone who's unaware, or this is just how they think they should act and what they think they should do. In this case, we're talking about deliberate manipulation using toxic positivity by a narcissist. Basically, a narcissist can use toxic positivity to their own benefit when they decide that they do not want to deal with any of your complaining. They don't want to deal with any of your anger. They don't want to be accountable or responsible for any of the abuse or mistreatment that they are directing towards you. So they will put on this toxic positivity where good vibes only, be positive, cheer up, no negativity here. You're not allowed to be negative to the narcissist. You're not allowed to complain about what they're doing to you. You're not allowed to be angry at them. Sure, a lot of times they let you be angry at other people because they revel in seeing your misery when it's directed to someone else and when they don't have to be accountable for it. However, if you are going to direct the negativity at them, and if you're going to complain or act unhappy or something that bothers them and it's targeting them because they're abusing you, then some narcissists will adopt the toxic positivity mindset to shut you down and to quiet you so that you won't bring up these difficult topics with them. So, for example, if you had a complaint or if you were very angry and you wanted to go up to this narcissist and tell them, speak your mind and say, I really don't appreciate when you do this to me, or this, or this, or this. It hurts my feelings, and I'm very angry, and you are angry, and you're telling them how you feel. One of the techniques to shut you down is to, laugh in your face and tell you, oh my gosh, you need to, cheer up. It's not that bad. It's really not that bad. Lighten up. Have you tried laughing today? Or just dismissing your anger so that they don't have to deal with the responsibility. They don't want to have to change anything about themselves or their behavior to suit you or to compromise with you. They want to be able to do whatever they want and get away with it. And get away with it in the least amount of difficulty possible. So if they're dealing with someone who's combating them and putting up boundaries and getting angry and making it difficult on them, they are going to try to manipulate that situation also. And one of the ways they can do that is with toxic positivity. So they may, expect that anytime they're around, anytime they are encountering you, you have to be on your best behavior. You have to be happy, only talk about positive things, only talk about the things that they want, or, if it's relating to them, of course. If it's relating to them, you only can talk about positive things, only make them comfortable, keep everything light and surface level and comfortable for them, because they get triggered by your confrontation to them. And so what's the best way to keep someone from confronting you is by shaming them for saying anything negative, or for being angry, or for having a negative emotion. What a great way to shame someone out of that. So they will, shame you to where you actually start believing that your negative emotion or your anger or being mad at them for any reason is wrong and shameful, and that you need to be positive with them at all times. And yes, this is my experience and also researched, but the narcissist will condition you to the point where you are not allowed to express your anger or express any uncomfortable emotion that makes them uncomfortable. They want to be comfortable at all times. And so obviously they want you to move through that very quickly and, suppress that away so that they don't have to deal with it. And they're not going to change whatsoever or do anything differently, but they expect you to change and to stop being angry. So in that case, you feel like your emotions are invalidated. You feel like your negative emotions are shameful and wrong, and you lose the power to confront the narcissist. And they get away with everything because you have no more boundary, you have no more assertiveness, you don't get angry because you're not allowed to. And that's one way they're able to manipulate you and continue their bad behavior. It also can turn into a form of gaslighting, where you start questioning if you even have a right to be angry or upset in the first place. You start thinking to yourself, oh, they are literally laughing as I am mad, and they're telling me that it's not that big of a deal, and they're telling me to cheer up. Maybe I'm making all of this up. Maybe they're not even toxic at all. Maybe they're wonderful, and I'm the crazy one. I'm the bad one. I'm the one who's overreacting and having all these negative emotions. I guess I shouldn't be angry at all. Maybe everything's fine after all, and I'll just pretend that everything's fine, and that'll make them happy. And then you deny your emotions and you suppress them further, and the abuse continues. Now, another way that these narcissists can use toxic positivity is to literally shut you down by actually ditching you or cutting you off when you get angry or upset. And this is where you might come to them with something that you're upset about, or you might confront them on their bad behavior and their abusive behavior, and they will literally scoff in your face and leave the door, leave the room, leave the house, and leave you there with your anger or your feelings that you need to express. You want compromise, you want understanding, you want someone to empathize and understand what you are feeling and say, yes, I understand, I'm sorry that you feel this way, let's come to a compromise. But no, they will literally ditch you and leave the house and make you sit and feel like, oh my gosh, like whenever I confront this person with my anger or anything negative or anything unpleasant, anything difficult, they're going to ditch me and abandon me. I guess I better pretend that everything's fine so that I don't have to worry about being abandoned. And once again, that is another manipulation to keep you in their box of comfort. And of course, in those situations, it's very common for them to come back later once the dust has settled, once, maybe you've forgotten about the issue, maybe you have been shamed enough to push it down and you're afraid to even go there. Then they come back and then they act like nothing ever even happened, and they say, oh, hey, how are you? And pretend that everything's fine. And meanwhile, you're like, wait, didn't I just get abandoned the other day? And I brought up something that I was angry about, and then they left, but now they're coming back acting nice, and you're shocked and you don't know what to do. And so you kind of go along with it. In a lot of cases, it's easy to go along with. It's easy to get sucked back in and just want to be pleasant with them because they're being pleasant with you, and everything's fine on the surface. Meanwhile, everything is being brushed under the rug every time, and they never change, and they never own up to anything. They never compromise. And so you're the one who is constantly repressing and compromising and allowing them to get away with everything. Because once they come back and they act like their toxic, positive, happy self, they are not going to bring up the issue. They're not going to say, oh, I'm back now. What is it that you wanted to talk about? What was upsetting you? No, they're not. They're just going to pretend that everything is fine now that it's been a couple days or a week or a month. And they're just going to go about the exact same behavior as before. So be aware of that. Once again, if you would like to watch my video on toxic positivity, what it is, what it's all about, I have that linked below. Also, go ahead and subscribe if you like this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. And remember, as always, you are so powerful. Bye, guys.